Oh, the energetic beginning. Well, everybody's on mute. Como, what's up? Crystal, howdy, Heidi, what's happening? Morgan, happy
Hello.
Sunday. Saul, I see you. Come, we'll give 2 more minutes. Look at that, Morgan. Turn the video on. Job, Morgan. That's the way to not be anti-sociable. It makes the class a whole lot better when you can see the talking to. I appreciate it. Casey, I put you as co-host too. So once we start rocking and rolling, that we'll be able to have you let people in as you can. So I think I'm going to give you the backup power too, as well. People come in, there you go, you have it. You have the power. How do I make this a little bit smaller? All right, 1 more minute to go. I got a feeling that people will be continuing to trickle in as we flow through. All right, 5 minutes after. Let Manisha in and then we'll rock and roll. Kevin is here. Let him in. Kevin, what's up?
Hey, how you doing? Sorry, I'm a little late. Had trouble with the link.
That's all right. Shubham was booing you, like, boo, where's Kevin? I was like, Shubham, just call me in.
Glad to be missed, I guess.
Rozzy, nice to see you. So Kevin, Rozzy, are you guys fathers?
Yes, very fortunately so.
Happy Father's Day.
Unfortunately. Thanks.
Jonathan, I see you.
You too.
Well, you know, I have a lot of adopted kids. You just scoop up along life's journey, right? So you may not have given birth to any, but if you're mentoring any, happy Father's Day in that regard. Shanaz, how you doing? Oh, you look like you got your hair did. Yeah, nice new color.
Yes. I don't want to color my white anymore.
Oh, I hear you. I hear you.
I'm tired of that. I
thought about going blonde too, but my wife shut it down. She shut it down.
Right. You are too young to talk about that now.
I am a young 50. I'm 49 and a half. That makes me a young 50.
You are young. You're very, very young. Young and smart. That's the best thing. That's the best.
You know what? Just keep those compliments coming. I like that. I like that. Other people are like humble, like, oh, no. I'm like, yes, thank you for noticing.
Nice to see you, Will.
You as well. So look, we're going to start rocking and rolling. Let me start recording. I think that's the one thing I forgot to do. Where are you? Where are you? There we go. Recording this. And she's so nice to let me know that we're recording too. So if everyone put yourself on mute, we'll be ready to rock and roll. If you have any questions, comments, if you like, say what? Because there should be a few, say what? In this particular session. It's exciting. I got a lot of content and I got a short period of time to break it off to you. So just to give context for anyone who is new, and this is the first time you come in on, we have these meetings every Sunday, and it's on a variety of different topics. We've been doing this, holding it down for a year now, a little over a year, actually. Every Sunday, a different topic. Now what we have done is we have framed it to be called the Light Worker class, the Light Worker program. So now we have classes. Classes happen on Sundays, pretty much every Sunday, and they are free. We have courses that takes a deeper dive into it. So the Light Worker classes boom, it just gives you a little bit of taste of a particular topic. And if you want to dive deeper into it, you can. From the courses that goes wider and deeper to the certifications that enables you to be able to have either the skill set and ability to teach it or to have a strong knowledge of it on another level. So part of the light worker classes, which you can see an update from what I understand tomorrow on our website, lightworker.com, where you see all the classes, courses, and certifications. And I'm also going to talk to you about why we do what we do. So time bending is a topic that we're going to go over today. And just to give context to how it works in terms of what we do, why we do, number one, adding light resources. So once per month, the first Sunday of every month, okay, we have a group get together globally in order to add light, add love, add positivity to the world. So it's a 1 hour meditation that you can do anytime throughout the day, but at 10:01 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we get together and we have a live group meditation. So go to lightworker.com and you'll see the next one that we're going to do, which is going to be on July 4th. And the numerology around that, when I added up, came out to a number that coincides with unity. So our theme during that is going to be unity. So the second thing, adding light knowledge. Adding light knowledge, spiritual classes every Sunday, where I talked about meditation, alchemy, healing. So for the past year, this has been the core topics that everybody has been feeling. So we're going to keep that love coming, and that's kind of the focus of what we do. Today, I think it kind of falls under alchemy, dealing with time, the Mandela effect. We're going to talk about all of that. How to slow down time, how to speed it up, even how to impact the past. And I'm going to show you some proof, for real. I'm going to show you some live proof that you can have an impact on the past. And you're going to be like, I don't believe this. I'm going to be like, yep. And you can be like, seriously? And I'm going to be like, yep. And making the light brighter, okay? So light workers wanting to shine brighter can get certified. I kind of already went over that. So let's move forward. These are the 3 core areas, gives you an idea, the breakdown of the topics that are covered when you want to take it to the next level. You can see all of that on the website too, as of tomorrow. Woo! I got through all those disclaimers. I'm telling y'all, because I got like some short time and a whole lot of stuff to cover. What good does this affecting the past do? Well, you know what? I'm going to leave that up to you, Kevin, to figure out. I'm going to teach you how. Maybe you can, we can have a discussion at the end of this on why. But not in the form of some regrets. Actually, you know what? Why don't I kick it off right now and answer that question? Since I happen to see it and nothing happens just accidentally, everything happens for a reason. Imagine that we want to get the world to another level. Imagine that you want to become a light worker and add more light to the world. Or sometimes, in order for you to achieve your goal, other things need to be aligned. As you get into manifestation, as you call out and say, you know what, I want to have this particular timeline, this result. I want peace on earth. I want love and goodwill to men and women. All right. I want this global love to happen. Well, the universe will respond and say, well, in order for this to happen, this has to be there. If you spent 10 years building your house on mud with straw, and then in 10 seconds, you decide, hey, I want to build a stronger frame. Well, you got to go back and fix where things went wrong or how you built up in the beginning. So that's one reason, Kevin, that I would throw out correcting the past, not from a standpoint of I have regrets, but from a standpoint of what shifts need to be made in order for the ultimate outcome to come through. So today we're going to talk about the concept of time. What does it mean? And how is it? Man, I struggled with this for a long time. How is it that time doesn't exist? Kind of like, what you talking about, Willis? What do you mean time doesn't exist? Like I got to watch, I know time exists. And then we're going to talk about how do you slow down time and the reasons and times that you may want to slow down time and also speed up. And then we'll be done. So I'm looking at an hour. So by 11:30 Eastern Standard Time, we should be done. Okay. So with that, let's go forward. I want to talk to you about something called the Mandela effect. Show me some love in the chat if you ever heard of the Mandela effect. Let's see what we got. Nope, I got a no. I got a yes. Morgan, look at you, smart Saul. Of course, I know you know what we're talking about. You spiritual giant, you. All right, the Mandela effect. So I'm going to read off the slide and then go a little bit deeper. So this is all about Nelson Mandela, and it is crazy. For some people, they recall that Nelson Mandela actually died in prison. And then there's others, a larger group of people who know and realize all the wonderful things that Nelson Mandela did after he got out of prison. And even his mindset around peace and love and forgiving your oppressors and trying to bring the country together. But this was the first incident where people were like, yeah, I remember him dying. Like I even have a friend of mine that I spoke to. In her mind, she doesn't remember him being alive. She recalls that he passed away. So this is a time where time was altered, that an alternate timeline was hopped on, grabbed to, shifted to. And this can happen from a global standpoint or a local standpoint. So when we look at time shifts, okay, then when we look at it, we're going to look at it today from a local standpoint, meaning me, meaning all of you, that's local. And then global is when there's a global recognition, a global impact. So starting off right now, I'm going to do something. And then towards the end, I'm going to give you a chance to try it out, to test it out. And we're going to have an impact on time right now. So what I want everybody to do is just get centered. Inhale, exhale. This will be real short. Okay. All right. I want you to think and be connected to the group. Right now, we have 19 of us. And when you connect and when you set the intention, that's all I want you to do. Just set the intention around all of us being connected, around all of us being one. Okay. Well, Heavenly Father, we love you, and we know you love us. As a child of God, we set the intention to slow down time in order for us to have an abundance of mind sharing. Slow, slow, slow. Okay. What I just did, I'm going to go through at the back end and explain it to you word for word, phrase for phrase, in order for you to inject your spirit, your personality, your own beliefs into what I just did. So I'm going to explain the framework. But now that we're all connected, let's move forward. And I'm going to talk to you about the Mandela effect more in depth. Now, I want to show you a few things, and let's see if you can relate to this. So for some people, Okay. Looney Tunes, okay, is spelled Toons. That's how I remember Looney Tunes is spelled. But if you Google, and as I go through this, Google search it. You shouldn't listen to anyone and just take them at their word. But I know Looney Tunes to be spelled Toons. Right, and that's what I grew up on. I grew up on Bugs and Elmer the Fudd and all that stuff. But for other people, it's a different way. Now, this one, the next one, Jiffy. On the left-hand side, by the way, as I go through these, it's always going to be, this thing on the left is from the past that's changed. It's an alternative timeline, okay? But it's called Jif, not Jiffy. Now, this other one, okay? Bear-Stained Bears. Now, I don't remember Bear-Stained Bears being spelled with an A in Bear-Stained. I don't remember that. But, and if you can relate, you can shoot it in the chat, or if you know one way versus another, let me know. But my mama, and I'm in her house right now, by the way, because Father's Day came down, peeping out my parents. But my mama read me the Bear-Stained Bears on the left. I don't know nothing about the one on the right. And this one, okay, what's the name of that TV show that comes on HBO about Carrie and her other friends, and they live in New York? Well, and they are like trying to find the love of their lives as they go through this series. They're really tight. What's the name of that show? I said that to my wife, and she said, Sex and the City. I was like, no, it's Sex and the City. So how is it that a large group of people can know, can see, can think back that things are one way, and now when you research it, when you check it out, it's something different? Time has altered. Time has changed. And that can happen from an individual standpoint, or it can happen from a global standpoint. When a large group, large mass of human beings decide that we want something else to happen, we want something else to be, the universe starts shifting. And time, if it doesn't exist, if it's just a concept, one, I may add, that started with people just trying to figure out when the sun rises and when the sun sets. So as we go through this, I would suggest try to stay away from looking at what time it is, because we're going to juice the time that we have together. But when you start looking and tracking it, yeah, that kind of takes you out of the spirit. It kind of, time is a 3D thing in this world that we're dealing with. But today, we're going to use time from a spiritual standpoint to ensure that we make the most of it. Now, okay, this one totally threw me off. Fruit Loops. I didn't know it to be spelled like the one on the right. I knew it to be spelled like the one on the left. And this one. Okay, how many of you know this picture of Henry VIII to be with him having a turkey leg in his hand? There ain't no turkey leg. So where did the turkey leg go? So there are like 40 of these I could pop up, but since we had a short period of time, I wanted to pick these that I thought would maybe relate to most, especially, a lot of these are American culture too as well, and we have that international thing going on with our Indian peeps and our peeps in Canada. But everybody, I think, can relate to this one. Snow White. What did the witch say when she looked in the mirror? Okay. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all? She absolutely didn't say that when you look at this cartoon again. And you can Google that too. She says something totally different that will rock your world. And of course, this one. And I had this little video link on here to be able to check it out on YouTube, but I'm not going to go there. But Darth Vader, for any Star Wars fans out there, right when he coldly cut off his son's hand, all right, he says, in my timeline, Luke, I am your father. But when you Google it, when you look at this video clip, there is no Luke, I am your father. He just says, I am your father. Say what? It totally blows my mind. Like if you said, I give you $1 billion, if you tell me what Darth Vader said, I would have been like, Luke, I am your father. Not just I am your father, but I watched this clip. I Googled it, and it's something totally, totally different. So these are just different examples of timelines. So you may even be talking to friends and say, this happened. No, no, no. It was like this. And then you Google it, you search it out, and I'm like, maybe they were right. Okay. That's because there was a timeline shift. So all of these things are wrapped up and talk about this thing, the Mandela effect. So I wanted to start off with that to totally adjust the way we see and look at time. Oh, I forgot I even had this one in here. This is the last one. I know my peeps outside of USA won't know what's up with this. For those of you who are here, who's this? What's his name? Like his full name. What's his name? I don't mean like Smokey Johnson. But what do you call him? I call him Smokey the Bear. This is what I know him to be. Only you can prevent forest fires. Smokey the Bear. But when you Google it, his name ain't Smokey the Bear. His name is Smokey Bear. What? Smokey Bear? Again, don't trust me. You can Google it. But I am telling you, as a kid, growing up in the 70s and 80s, Smokey was not just Mr. Bear. It was Smokey the Bear. So that Mandela effect is kicking in big time. Big time. Now, let's keep going. The last hour, so we're going to look at this concept around time. The last hour of doing something can be the longest hour of the day. How many of you experienced that? Huh? Like if you're doing something you don't like and you're looking at the time, and it could even be, at a job, and you're like, oh my God, I just wish that this is the longest hour. Man, when do I get off? I get ready to go on vacation. So the thing around time is you can lengthen it. You can shorten it. You can bubble it. You can bend time. You can do all these things. But it comes down to time bending versus timeline jumping. I'll say that again. Time bending versus timeline jumping. So what's the difference between the two? Time bending is locally. That's what I did in the very beginning when I connected to God, infinite intelligence, source, whatever you call it. And by the way, I've been wrestling with something recently, and in meditation, I had an epiphany that came through. Whatever your belief structure is that you grew up with, you don't have to feel that you got to reverse or erase your belief structure. If you call God Heavenly Father, you can continue to do so. If you call God infinite intelligence, Gaia, okay, Mother Earth, whatever you refer to God with, don't feel like in order to be cool and fit in, you got to adjust how you reach out to God. I was raised Christian. So for me, it was Heavenly Father. Now my knowledge has expanded. But just because I learned multiplication doesn't mean I got to throw out my arithmetic lessons. So in the very beginning of all of this, what I did was I connected to God. And something that we're going to talk about in terms of how to meditate is even going outside of yourself, up into the air, certain number of feet up above, because at that level, there's the stream of love, like the stream of love energy. And that love energy empowers you to be able to do wonderful things, from healing to manifestation to cleansing. All of these wonderful things happen when you go through that simple process I did in the beginning. And then what I did from a local standpoint, local meaning us, right? There was 19 of us when we did it. Now we're up to 21. But when I did it, what I did was I reversed time to slow it down. And there's a certain feeling that you get when that happens too. And I'm going to show you what that is. Jonathan, I'm going to crank up the energy. I saw you yawning. And be careful with that driving too. We don't want you getting hurt. So time bending is when we're able to slow down or speed up time just for ourselves or for a collective smaller group. Timeline jumping is when something global happens. That's what the Mandela effect is. It's where there is a global conscious shift. So imagine, not to get too science and nerdy on you, but just imagine that there's an infinite number of possibilities of what can happen next, okay? And then we just shift from where we are now to another one. This is manifestation at a totally higher level. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to go on and talk about how can you do this? How can you do this? So the way that you do this is through hyper focus, okay? Hyper focus allows you to be able to get this together. So something fun versus something boring. The last hour of work, time goes slow. Doing something fun, time flies. The same thing applies with meditation. Because if you meditate and you're in this altered state, and for many of you, you feel like you're not in your body. And when you come back, you feel the heaviness and the weight of what's going on. So when you do that, and when you meditate and you get outside of yourself, you no longer are trapped by Earth's gravitational pull. The timeline here on Earth is different than the timeline if you were on the moon or if you were on a star. Time works differently. So what we want to do now is the focus exercise number one. The focus exercise number one is we're going to look at this line, this passage that I have right here that I'm circling. Everybody except for Jonathan. Jonathan, you don't look at nothing. Just hear me going through this. But as you look at this passage right here, I want you to see it, but don't try to process the words. Don't try to read it. Just notice that block of stuff, okay? Right, I just want you to notice the block. Don't read any of the words. It's like you look at it, but you see it, but don't try to read anything. Now, I want you to switch your focus from just seeing that block to reading the individual words. Actually process it. Look at this line without reading it, see it, but don't try to process the words. What part of your brain does the focus fall? Now try to read and understand. Do you see the difference? Okay. So let's do this again. Okay. So focus one, just see the square. Even let your eyes go and over the words, but don't let it go any deeper where you actually grab hold of the words. Just have them be there, almost like if you were seeing a foreign language. Now feel that in your brain, that part of your brain. Where is that when you are just looking at the outside words, but not going deeper? And then switch. and start looking individually at the lines, start reading them. And do you feel it go to a different place? Like for me, my consciousness is kind of like in the, if I had to describe physically where it is, it's in the back of my head when I'm just looking over. But when I start to read, it kind of shifts to here in the middle, like where your pineal gland would be. Okay, so this is exercise 1. And it's something you can do anywhere. I mean, you can just look, like I'm looking into my mom's kitchen right now, and I'm just seeing everything. But then when I focus on one thing, the microwave, boom, it's like a laser focus. The reason why I'm doing this is so that you understand and feel the difference when we do the upcoming exercises. So you can feel that shift in time, okay? So focus exercise number 2. What if you can slow time down when you're doing something fun? That's what I want to work on now, all right? That's what I did at the very beginning. So slow down time now, similar to the previous exercise, and consider the normal speed to be skimming over the words, and you use that part of your brain. And then go one level in, and first think, time is ticking now, and process thoughts there. So this is what you do. You can pick any spot in general. You can look at something outside and just don't process anything. It's like almost using your peripheral vision, okay? And then from wherever you're looking at, like right now, I'm just looking past the laptop towards that wall. When you do that, okay, now drill down deeper, like set the intention, let me look deeper and pick out something. And when you pick out that something from that place in your mind, say, time is ticking now. Slow down. And feel the difference. Feel the difference from when you're peripheral vision and just looking at something until you dive in deeper and you focus on a place. When you set the attention, like I'm going in deeper, and then attach that to time. Time is ticking. Now, slow down, okay? I'm gonna check the chat for a second while you kind of play around with that. Boom, cool, Julianne. For you, it's on the right side. And for everybody, it's gonna be different. But having that realization of the peripheral vision or being on the outside, because that's normal. This is the normal speed of time. But then when you drill down in closer, that's when you have an opportunity to adjust that knob. So next time you're doing something fun, there you go. Or if you're doing something you don't like, there you go. Okay, so let's try it a little bit deeper. So what I'm doing for all of us together is we're taking baby steps. It's kind of like if you ever saw that movie, What About Bob? The guy was trying to get up the courage to be able to go out, and he was like, baby steps to the door, baby steps to the elevator. That's what we're doing. We're taking baby steps in time bending. So we started off, and if we look at this, you have focus, right? And let's say that's that peripheral vision. Then you went a little bit deeper in, like space and time. You just dove right in. Now what I want you to do is when you do this, let's expand. So you have your peripheral vision. Let's try that again, okay? And as you have that peripheral vision, what I want you to do is to go deeper inside, like you have here, and then you say, boom, I'm going to focus on that one thing, or I'm going deeper in through space and time. And then once you get there, expand your consciousness. Let it go infinite left and right, infinite up and down, in all ways, in all directions, expand your consciousness. And you can try that now. Focus. And go deeper. And then once you go deeper, feel yourself expand. Expand that consciousness. Now, the more you do this, the better you're going to get. If you're having a hard time like identifying and feeling, well, how do I do that? It's just that logical part of your brain telling you, okay, well, how does this work? Or how does this happen? A mechanic needs to know how a car works to fix it. I don't need to know how a car works to be able to drive it. Okay. Now, the last one, the experience itself. So, what I'm going to do, let me check my slide for a second. Yeah, I'll go over this and then I'll go back to 4D. So I put this up here on the screen so that you have a bigger visual view of just doing that first thing, having focus. So don't read anything, just kind of see it, okay? And now that you see the words without really reading or processing anything, now try reading it. Time can be confusing according to quantum mechanics. As you read it, feel the shift, feel that difference in your body, in your spirit, where things are located. These are exercises to warm up your abilities. Everyone has the ability to impact time. This is a skill set that when we say time is short, okay, the better we get at this, the better we can do it. So just play around with it. See the whole caption, and you can switch, go in and out, focusing on the entire passage, and then drilling down to individual words or reading the sentence or anything like that. Kevin, good catch. You're definitely drilling it. Just feel the difference before you knew there was a typo and then after. Okay. Now, a little discussion about time, and then I'm going to show you that another exercise you can do to start having an impact on it yourself. So let's look at an example of location and time. So the Earth, the moon, a star. I mentioned that earlier. So let's imagine you had 3 watches and you were able to put them in a case that was going to be untampered with. And let's say you kept 2 of the watches, right? 2 of the watches here on Earth. And then you took the 3rd watch and you went to a space station. Here on Earth, okay, even if they were synchronized, like down to the millisecond, when you talk to someone who's at the space station versus somebody who's on Earth, and you look at the times, these watches are going to be off. Because now this 3rd watch has been taken to a location where the gravitational pull on Earth and the karma and the energy is totally different. It's outside the reach of the time and space that we experience here. So they even did a study. I didn't plan on telling you this, so let me slow down and make sure I get the story right. When they were on the moon, they were trying to figure out how much time does it take for a signal to go from Earth back, for them to hear it, and then for it to come back. And what blew their mind was that from the time perspective, it didn't make sense. The people on Earth said one thing, and the people on the moon responded back within 4 seconds. It takes 4 seconds for the signal to even get there. So it's kind of like time was working differently because there's no way the guy who responded back would have been able to respond back in a manner that even gets to them. It was almost like instantaneous, and that didn't make sense. But this is what I said about meditating. When you think about it, meditating and going 67 feet above your head, you're no longer impacted by Earth's gravitational pull, by the karma, by the energy. So one of the things that I want to share when it comes from a meditation standpoint that I learned recently is that when you meditate, no matter what you're trying to do, and meditation is the catalyst for anything from manifesting your dreams, that whole law of attraction thing, but this is just law of attraction squared to the third power. When it comes to healing people, when it comes to having clear thought on what a situation is like, just imagine when you meditate, when you close your eyes, that you are able to shoot yourself up 67 feet in the air and you stay there. You can try that now. Close your eyes, shoot yourself up 67 feet in the air, just imagining that, see how it feels. See how it feels. So the lady I learned this from, through channeling and also her group doing some exercises, they found that when they set the intention, just like for some people, you can set the intention of waking up at 7:03, and your body just wakes up at 7:03. When you just set the intention for doing something, it does it on its own. So we're much more powerful than we think we are, from adjusting time to being able to just set your intentions and have things get done, especially when that belief structure is there and doesn't get in the way. At 67 feet above you, well, that's a beautiful spot. It's almost like in the ocean when you have different currents, you see the different strings that come through. At 67 feet above, you feel the love string, that unconditional love that just flows through. And then from there, that's your point of power. Okay. So let me explain to you how this works. Now I'm right-handed, so I'm using my right hand. You can use whatever hand you want to. And I'm going to explain to you how you can slow down time or speed it up, and what I did at the very beginning. Because believe it or not, our hour is up. It's fastly coming to an end. What you do is you take your non-dominant hand, okay? And then you take 3 fingers, okay? And you put it in your palm, like the energy center. And then you're going to, if we want to slow down time, we're going to circle 3 times, each time saying slow, 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 slow. And then you stay there. You should feel an energetic difference, that time is slowed down. Now, if you don't feel like time is slowed down enough for you, because for me right now, time is really slowed down to the point where I feel energetically connected to every syllable that comes out of my mouth, versus before it was just me flowing and talking. But if it's not slow enough for you, you can slow it down even more. Same thing, 3 fingers, non-dominant hand, center of your palm, circling counterclockwise. Slow, slow, slow. Okay. Now, you got to reset it, because if not, you're stuck in this point where things are slow for a long period of time. And what you do is you take your 3 fingers, okay, and you tap it in the middle, saying reset. And you do it 3 times for every cycle. So for me, I slowed things down with 2 cycles, right? First time 3 times, and then the next time 3 times. So I need to do this. Reset, reset, reset. Reset, reset, reset. And physically, as I'm doing it, I feel like I'm trying to describe it to you, like a clarity or a deepening, a different heaviness. That's how I feel. So remember, you can do the same thing, saying faster, faster, faster. But then reset, reset, reset when you're done. So if you have some work you need to do and you got a short period of time and you need to get as much done as possible, boom, there you go. You can slow it down. You got something you need to buzz through and it's not going to be that pleasant of an experience. I love my in-laws, but maybe you don't like yours. And you have to visit. Like faster, faster, faster to get this over with. Okay. So that was it. We're at 10 minutes too. So that'll give us an opportunity to have a discussion and answer any questions that you may have. Okay. Let's see. All right, Kevin, we talked about that first one. What good does it do to affect time or the past? We talked about that. And by the way, if anybody else have any questions, you can just unmute yourself and just talk. You don't have to put it through the chat. Chat was just as I went through. Okay, yes. See if I missed any. Bugs is the greatest. I saw that. Yeah, mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest of them all? Juliana is right. It's almost like non-locality where time and space don't exist. Morgan saw that. Kevin saw the typo comment. I slowed my vision and went red. Julianne, tell us more about that. That sounds kind of cool. Besides, everybody looks kind of shy. I hate when we have the mute button because it's like you got to mute it. I just wish everybody get off unmute unless you get like a baby crying. So Julianne, tell us your experience and what happened.
Yeah, so sometimes when I feel like I interact with energy, the color, like my clairvoyance kind of comes up. I'm still practicing it. But for me, when I close my eyes and I try to do the slow, 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 it's like all of this, when I close my eyes, all of the vision went red, which to me signals the root chakra. So I'm not sure exactly what that meant. But that came in. And then when you said to do the reset, it's kind of like I clicked back into myself, or I don't know, I can't really explain it, but it felt different.
No, I get it. Because it's like different locations, but the same type of feeling for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I had the same thought as you when you talked about the red, that it was a root chakra. That's how most of us, where we go to ground ourselves. Yeah. So what I'll be interested in finding out is when you set the intention to go 67 feet up and do it from that place. Yeah. What happens? Does that red still come? Because the thought process is when you go up higher, like at that it's literally 67 feet, not like 65, 62. I guess I got to figure out what's that in meters for my India peeps. I got to figure that out. But when you set that intention of going up 67, nothing's more powerful than love. Nothing. There's nothing more powerful than love. So when you tap into that stream and from that place, you do that, you may realize that before, when I was grounded in the body that I had to do it 6 times. But when I go up, I only had to do it 3. So
Yeah.
go around with that too. That's cool.
Is there a certain
Uh,
significance of why it's 67 feet? Or how do we know that it's 67 feet?
Yeah. So from the lady that I learned it from, she said that she was channeling, and that was the information that they
Oh, okay.
gave to her. And then she started playing around with it. And the 67 was a place where they just felt it. Like you literally feel it. So we don't have to listen to somebody else. These type things we can experience. And either we feel it or we don't. So what I want you to do is go up 67 and see, does this feel different? Do I feel unconditional love? Now, for some people, if they never felt unconditional love before, they could cry because it's just so beautiful, so peaceful.
Mhm.
Like, you just want to stay there like, huh.
Mhm.
So when I do healings now, that's where I go. I go up 67 and I connect. Ooh, okay, that just reminded me, I didn't describe or tell why. In the beginning, I said Heavenly Father. And then remind me, somebody, to say why 3 fingers, why 3 tapping, what's up with that whole 3 thing too? Because that was a question I had when I first learned it. So a big, I guess, milestone for me was wrestling with referring to God without insulting other people. It's kind of like Christmas, where you're like, hey, Merry December. you don't want to insult anybody. You pretty much just want to say, hey, I love you. I hope life is going well for you. But it was the same concept for me because, like I said, I'm a young 50. But most of my life, I've been praying like Heavenly Father. So one of the epiphanies was for me, everybody should refer to God, infinite intelligence, source, Gaia, whatever you feel. Don't just become spiritually cool by saying, oh, well, infinite intelligence. But that ain't what you feel, right? Because you have years, decades in some places of building up this energetic connection. And if it's not harming, then you don't have to run from it. Our connections can get weaker as we sometimes try to become more spiritual. So in the beginning, what I'm doing is I go up 67 feet, okay? And then once I go up 67 feet from that place, from that point of unconditional love, I say, if it's just me, I say, I love you, right? Heavenly Father, I love you. And I know you love me. When it's a group, I say, oh, Heavenly Father, we love you. And we know you love us. We are one. Now the light has been turned on. So as we're doing this global meditation, we should learn how to shine brighter. So you connect to that infinite power of love. You turn the light on with the recognition and the greetings. And then for some people, it's like, I can't command God. That was another thing for me. I don't want to command God. So what came to me was, I say, as a child of God, I command boom. Now, I'm showing you the framework, which is just go to a place of infinite possibilities. And then once you get there, connect to the source. And then once you connect to the source, then claim what you want. Because the subconscious mind, I am praying and hoping that you will. Yeah, it doesn't work that way. So by saying, as a child of God, I command this, then I find that works. For me, it was a lot easier. And I thought in general for other people, it would be too. Ooh, we got 3 minutes left. Very appropriate. 3 fingers. Okay. So dominant hand, 3 fingers into the palm. All right. 3 fingers. Everything is energetic. 3 is a triangle. All right. 3 is a triangle. 3 is about creation. 3 is about cycles. So you're connecting into the energy of what you need to get done. You don't go to a sauna to cool down. You go to a sauna, right? 'Cause you want the heat, you want to sweat. So the same thing applies when it comes to working with energy, when it comes to working with time. That's a little bit into sacred geometry too, right? That everything has a purpose, has a reason. But for the 3 fingers and the 3 circles, it's all that same energy, a manifestation of unity, of cycles. Okay. So I'm gonna shut up for a second because we got about.
Are there any resources that we could use?
Yes, you can take our class.
It's okay.
So this is like a sample of what we could do in a short period of time, but just go to willpowerlightworker.com and get your name in there. And then when we have the longer class or the longer certification, you can take it and we can get jiggy with it.
Okay,
Oh.
thank you. And
No, thank you for putting it out.
what would you
Great question.
What would you say is like something big that happened because of this for you? Like something that like you manifested or that was
Yeah.
like a
How about
great
money?
thing for you?
Yeah, how about money? So I just had a big client that I had a short time period to turn a proposal around with. And I was able to use what we talked about in order to triple my work output in a short period of time. I use that a lot. I find that I run a global business, so I'm kind of busy. So when I get with my family, I really want to slow down time. I like using it more to slow down time than speeding it up. It's not too many stuff I do that I don't like. If I don't like it, I ain't doing it. But the slowing down time aspect, that's how I roll. And that's what I use it most for.
That's great. Yeah, I think I would probably slow down more than speed up anything.
Yeah. Yeah,
Thank you.
my pleasure. It's a great question. How do you pronounce your name too, by the way?
It's Abdussalam.
Abdi Salam.
Abdussalam. Yeah.
Glad you are here.
Thank you.
And for everybody, please, if you haven't yet, go to willpowerlightworker.com. You're basically throwing your hat in the ring to be a part of the monthly global meditation. But at the same time, tomorrow, the classes and courses and certifications that we have will be on the site. And everyone who's already signed up, I'll make sure that you get an alert through my MailChimp stuff to let you know what's up. But the theory behind this is we have these classes where everybody should be able to get something. And I don't want anyone to not get information because they don't have enough money. So we will always have stuff that we put out there. And if at any particular point in time, if there's ever a class that you're like, well, this is worthwhile, but I'm not quite sure I can afford it, you let me know, because you can pay us in kindness. You can go out and do some acts of kindness to be connected to what we're doing. So everything doesn't have to come down to money. Although all the money we raise is going to Willpower Humanitarian Foundation, where we're building orphanages around the world. So ain't nobody trying to make money off of you, but we are trying to connect and make the world a better place, one way or the other. Cool. All right, I'm gonna break a rule. And I'll take one more question or comment or boo. You can boo me. I'm a grown man. I can take it. Anything else?
Applause,
All right.
no boo, applause.
Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate that. Well, I just want to say, I love you all. I'm so glad that you're here. Next Sunday, I think we're going to talk about meditation, and I'm going to dive deeper into the exercises of the 67 feet. Please spread the word about the global meditation, about light. We all can do something to make the world a better place. And yeah, I guess that's it. Happy Father's Day. If you had a great father, happy Father's Day to him. If you don't have your father any longer in your life, that he's more now a heavenly father, I like to think that we still can say happy Father's Day to them, and that they feel it and they know it. Cool. So with that, I say bye to everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Om Shanti.